you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. Now we've got a lot to cover today, but just real quick, I wanted to let you guys know that I have launched 2 new contests on both Marvelous News and Toy News International for additional $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. These are the latest contests. We do them once a month. So the newest one has just begun. If you want to check them out, I do have links to both contests in the video description below. All right, so let's get into the news, and let's start off with a little bit of Star Wars news. So just this morning, Hot Toys released official images for their upcoming Clone Wars 1/6 scale Captain Rex figure. So I talked about this, how they teased an image with Rex and the other clone troopers, and now we've got the official images and details for Rex himself. So Rex, of course, first appeared in the Clone Wars animated series, and then he went on to star in the Rebels animated series as well, an older version of the character. And then he's even been said, they kind of made it so that he actually appeared in Return of the Jedi, not the actual actor or anything, but a guy that looked kind of like Rex. So they officially said, yeah, this is Captain Rex, and he was part of the Endor army on the Battle of Endor during Return of the Jedi. Anyway, so Rex here, it is currently available for pre-order. This new Hot Toys figure is currently available for pre-order at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store. It's going to be out towards the end of the year. Now this figure is chocked with quite a few accessories. So the figure is said to be about 11.8 inches tall, and he's going to have about 30 points of articulation. He's going to come with multiple pairs of hands. You're going to get his armor, which is highly detailed, and they've given it weathered effects and everything, which is nice. You've got the pauldrons, the blue one that he wears, the black chest pouch that he has, a belt with attached command skirt and holsters for his pistols. He's got, basically he does come with his pistols as well as a rifle. He comes with 2 versions of his helmet, so his traditional helmet, and then that one that he briefly had on with the Ahsoka Tano colors from the final season of the Clone Wars. He really only had that on for like a split second, and then he switched back to his regular helmet in the episode. But they are including that one, and I think they're going to release regular clones to go along with him at some point as well. And then also, one of the cool things is they're giving him a Mandalorian Jetpack, so which is going to attach to the figure's back with a magnet, and it's got some blast effects and stuff. So that's pretty cool as well. He had that on in one of the episodes. Actually, probably a few of the episodes he wore that. So definitely kind of cool. And again, like I said, this figure is available for pre-order now. Now, while we're on the subject of clones and all that, I also wanted to deviate from toy news a little bit and talk about a little bit of television news with the Mandalorian TV series. So last week, it was announced that by the Hollywood Reporter that the actor who plays in the movies Jango Fett is going to be appearing in at least one episode of the 2nd season of the Mandalorian TV series that airs on the Disney Plus streaming service. So if you haven't caught episode or season 1, it's fantastic. I rewatched it this weekend actually. Now, I am going to be talking a little bit of spoilers here, so if you haven't seen season 1 and you don't want to have things spoiled, you might want to fast forward a little bit. Basically, the rumors, initially when it was reported that Mr. Morrison was going to be appearing in the series, it wasn't 100% confirmed, and I still don't think it's 100% confirmed, but basically indications were that he was going to be reprising his role, well, not necessarily reprising, but taking on the role of Boba Fett. So, as you probably know, Boba Fett, it was established in the prequels that Boba Fett was actually a clone, just a clone of Jango Fett, not actually, you know, it wasn't like his actual kid. It was actually just a clone that he took under his wing. He didn't have, you know, he basically raised him as a kid. So unlike the other clones, basically increased so they became adults almost immediately. Jango basically was allowed to grow up as a kid, or Boba Fett, I should say, was allowed to grow up as a kid, and Jango raised him as his son, of course, until he got decapitated by Mace Windu. But as it is, because of that, at that point, essentially the same actor playing Jango, the same actor, all the clones are based on Jango Fett. So any clone is essentially based on the Morrison actor and how he looked and everything. So in the original trilogy movies, Jeremy Bulloch is actually the one who played Boba Fett, but then later on they actually dubbed in Morrison's voice for Boba Fett because, once they had established that Boba Fett was a clone of Jango Fett. So, but now in this Mandalorian series, it looks like he's going to be taking on the actual role of Boba Fett for at least an episode. Probably going to be more. I really, if they're going to bring Boba Fett back, I really find it hard to believe he's not going to play a significant role as things go along. Now, as it turns out, this is where some of the spoilers come into. It actually looks like we got our first look at Boba Fett in season 1. So this was in the 5th episode, chapter 5, which I don't know if that was coincidental, but Boba Fett's main first appearance was episode 5, even though later on they dubbed him back into episode 4. But really, for most of us who grew up on the original trilogy, our first real, well, not counting the holiday special, but our first real look at Boba Fett in the movies was Empire Strikes Back. So chapter 5, episode 5, I don't know. But the episode's titled Gunslinger, and basically an episode takes place on the planet of Tatooine, which of course is where we last saw Boba Fett get swallowed up by the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. Now, in some of the books and comics, they had brought Boba Fett back to life, but none of those things were actually ever considered canon, I don't think. I won't swear to it, but I'm pretty sure everything that ever showed Boba Fett being brought back to life after Return of the Jedi was kind of thrown out the window as not being canon. Officially, Boba Fett has not returned from the dead yet, but in this episode, it looks like, at the very end, we see this mysterious figure walk up, and all we see is his leg and everything. And when I first saw the episode, I didn't put the two together. In fact, I thought it was weird that they made this guy, whoever it was, sound like he was a cowboy, because he's got that cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching noise like spurs, like you would hear in westerns and stuff when a cowboy walks around. So I thought that was odd. And then when this news broke last week, somebody had mentioned that probably it was Boba Fett in that scene because of that noise. And so I had to go back and actually watch Empire Strikes Back, and you only briefly hear it, but you actually hear Boba Fett also make that cha-ching noise. I've watched Empire Strikes Back like 1,000,000 times, and I don't think I've ever noticed him make that noise. It's very subtle, and you only hear it for a second in the dining room scene on Bespin. In fact, if you also go back to A New Hope and look at the scene, that added scene that wasn't in the original theatrical release where Han and Jabba have their conversation and we see Boba Fett, you actually hear that cha-ching noise as well. Another possible clue is you hear this little noise, which it sounds like a scanner or some type of computer or something. You hear that scene in the New Hope scene. You also hear it in this Mandalorian scene. So I put this little clip together just to give you an idea of it. So here, check it out.
Join us.
Like you said, I think, and only somebody like Dave Filoni, who honestly I think should be allowed to direct Star Wars movies. I don't think anybody knows Star Wars better other than maybe George Lucas himself. I don't think anyone knows Star Wars better than Filoni. Obviously, I think George probably knows it better, but other than George, I don't think anybody knows Star Wars better than Filoni. He's done an awesome job. The Clone Wars animated series and the Rebels animated series. I love the Rebels animated series as well. And I think my last feeling is, if you haven't seen Rebels, if you haven't watched the Rebels animated series, you might want to take the time, especially if you have Disney Plus. It's all the episodes are available on Disney Plus. I would go back and watch the Rebels animated series before you watch the second season of Mandalorian, because I suspect that we're going to see a lot of tie-ins between the two shows, in large part because other news that had broke several weeks ago was that it looked like we're also going to see a live version of Ahsoka Tano in the Mandalorian, and more spoilers here for Rebels. But at the final episode of the Mandalorian, or the Rebels series, they kind of flashed forward a little bit. You know, they had the ending at the very end of the episode. They kind of flash forward to the events after Return of the Jedi, where Ahsoka and Sabrine Wren basically team up to go find Ezra, who disappeared earlier in the episode, and they've gone off to find him. So if we're gonna see Ahsoka in the Mandalorian series, to me that probably means we're also going to see a live version of Sabrine from the Rebels cartoon, who is actually a Mandalorian. So yeah, that's interesting. Also, a lot of, you know, if you want more background on the black saber that you see the Moff have at the very end of the final episode of the Mandalorian TV series, well, Rebels and Clone Wars too, but really more so Rebels is where you want to get all the background on that sword. So so definitely some significant, I think, tie-ins we're going to see in the second season of Mandalorian that go along with Rebels and stuff. So some exciting stuff. Boba Fett returning. Now, when the news of Morrison joining the show, and I suppose this is still possible as well, you know, Ahsoka also has pretty strong ties with Captain Rex, and of course, if they were going to have if they were going to do a live version of Captain Rex, a real live version of Captain Rex, not talking about the stand-in from Return of the Jedi, but a real live version of Captain Rex, well, it would be played by Morrison as well. So, you know, I suppose if they want to bring Rex in, I think because of the little ending there in that episode 5 of the first season of Mandalorian, I think he is coming in to play Boba Fett. But I would not also be surprised if at some point they have him play Rex as well, maybe to reunite with Ahsoka at some point. And might even, I could see Rex having a connection with Cara Dune as well, being that she was a ex-drop trooper for the Rebellion and was at the Battle of Endor. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. So anyway, enough rambling about Star Wars. Let's move on. Let's get back into some more toy news. Okay, so real quick, Super 7 released this teaser just today. Looks like they're going to be doing one of their reaction figures based on the Ash Williams character from Evil Dead, you know, played by Bruce Campbell. Probably really won't look like Bruce Campbell since it's a reaction figure, but it looks like we are getting Ash, and he's got the bloody chainsaw there in this teaser image. So if you're an Ash fan, you might want to check that out. More details should be coming soon for that figure. For you Masters of the Universe fans, so this probably shouldn't come too much of a surprise to you, but the PowerCon, the official Masters of the Universe convention, this year has been postponed. So the next PowerCon now will not take place until September of 2021, September 11th and 12th if you want to mark your calendars. It'll be taking place once again in Anaheim, California. However, the exclusives that were going to be released this year are being made available online for non-attendees. They always do a non-attendee thing for the exclusives, but now technically everybody's a non-attendee. But the exclusives, which I've talked about previously, that Masters of the Universe Origins 5-pack, and then the She-Ra figure, Masters of the Universe Origins She-Ra figure, are both available for pre-order now. And I'll put a link to the PowerCon website down below if you want to get more information on that. Tomasi Nations has released a new teaser image for another new SH-Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figure, this time of Piccolo. We don't have a whole lot of details other than just this preview image, but we should be getting more information and images soon from Tomasi Nations. So as soon as we do, I'll be sure to update you guys. Now for you G.I. Joe fans, Hasbro has finally gotten around to announcing the 5th and final figure for their first wave of G.I. Joe classified figures, the 6-inch figures. Now, we all knew what this figure was. The wave has already started to see release, and retailers have been putting these out. So we've posted several reviews on TNI for the figure. So we all knew what it was, but now that Hasbro has officially announced it, it means that e-tailers like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store can start taking pre-orders just for that figure. So if you didn't want to get all the figures in the wave, you can now just go and pre-order the Snake Eyes figure. I know probably Snake Eyes and Destro are the two most popular figures in the first wave. So both of those figures are actually available as individual releases over at Big Bad Toy Store. And the figure itself, I've talked about the figure before. Again, we've all, I'm sure if you're into this line, you've seen at least images of the figure. But it's the same figure as released as Hasbro did with the exclusive online version on their website, other than it's all black. So I think the figure itself looks much better than the exclusive version. The downside with this one is this regular release one is the weapons. Not only does it not come with as many accessories as the exclusive version, but it comes with different weapons. It does not come with his classic Uzi. He comes with a kind of an ugly looking gun. So you may want to track down, you can probably track down an Uzi that'll work for the character. But it would have been nice if we got, they gave us the sword with this one with both versions. It would have been nice if we had also gotten the Uzi. Now, the bright side, if you can't track down just an Uzi easily, we're probably going to be getting the movie Snake Eyes in Wave 2, so maybe it'll come with an Uzi. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, the Snake Eyes figure has now been officially announced by Hasbro and is available for pre-order. Okay, and then the final bit of news I have for you guys is on the NECA Toys front. So first of all, in my last news video, I talked about a bunch of news that they had revealed in an interview with Pixel Dan, a lot of it related to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And one of the things that had been mentioned in that interview, Randy had said that he felt by the end of the year, they would have released 40 different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series based figures, the Target exclusive figures. They would have done about 40 different figures by the end of the year. So I'd seen some of you asking, what are those and how have they gotten up to 40 and everything. So we break it down wave by wave, everything we know, everything that's already out on shelves and everything we know that is 100% coming. And based on everything that we know, I was able to come up to about 35 figures. And then we know there's a fifth wave. We're pretty sure of 2 of the figures in the fifth wave, but there should be at least 4 other figures in that fifth wave. That would bring us up to 39. And then, one more that probably NECA has not revealed to us. So at least one more. That I suppose they could do more than 40 this year. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely, you can see as we break it down. And I'll put a link to that article. You can see images, all the figures, get the breakdowns of all the various waves. Wave 3, which is going to be out here in late June, and then Wave 4 will be out right after that, and then Wave 5 again should be out by the end of the year. Plus at least 3 different deluxe figures that are coming, and a couple other things. So if you want to get a rundown of all the figures that have come out and will be coming out this year that we know about for that line, check out the story, and I'll put a link to that in the video description below. Okay, and then the final news I have for you guys today, probably the biggest of the day, is that NECA has announced more Back to the Future Ultimate figures. So I've talked about these at Toy Fair. They revealed that they were doing Back to the Future and that they were going to be doing 7-inch Ultimate figures. They'd shown 2 different versions of Marty McFly, both based on the first movie. One where he's just wearing like the vest coat and jeans and everything, and then the other where he's wearing the nuclear yellow suit, containment suit. So those were the 2. They had shown two-ups, larger version, larger scaled figures so they can work on them and stuff. They're called 2-ups. So they had those on display at Toy Fair. And but today they've officially announced the first figure. So that Marty figure with the vest and everything is being released right away. No word on the second Marty with the containment suit on yet. But a couple of figures that they had not shown at Toy Fair, they have announced now. So we're getting Biff Tannen as well. So a 7-inch scale Biff Tannen. And he's going to come with an alternate head sculpt. He's going to have the Gray Sports Almanac, Back to the Future 1 and 2, I guess you could consider this one. And also he's going to, the outfit that he was wearing at the Under the Seas dance is what this figure is featuring. So if you're into Biff Tannen, then you're going to be happy. And then we're also getting a second Marty Mcfly figure, not the second one that they showed at Toy Fair, but this one is based on Back to the Future 2. So he's got the futuristic coat and hat and Nike shoes and the pulled out pockets, because that was the style, you know, back then, or, you know, that's what they were trying to say was the futuristic style. So we're getting that second Marty McFly figure. They also announced that they're doing a 6-inch die-cast time machine DeLorean. So this does not look like it's not in scale with the 7-inch scale figures. It's 6-inch in length, and it's made with die-cast metal. So what this basically appears to be is just a larger, like, kind of Hot Wheels type car. It has rolling wheels and everything, but I don't think it opens up. There's nothing about it opening up, and if it's only 6 inches in length, it's not going to be big enough to hold actual figures or anything. So I believe this is just kind of, like I said, a 6-inch size Hot Wheels type vehicle, diecast vehicle. It's not a 7-inch scale DeLorean to hold your 7-inch scale figures or anything. I think it'd be great if NECA ends up releasing that. Now, this diecast time machine is going to cost about $50. All of these are up for pre-order now, so places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. Salome is joining us, everybody. Salome, who made quite the hit in my last news video. She's joined us here. But anyway, so those figures are available for pre-order at places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. Now, the Marty McFly figure, the first one from the first movie, is going to be out in August, along with those animated series figures that I've previously talked about, the Toonie Toon 6-inch figures, which we've got some new updated images for those as well. So both those and the Marty figure, the first Marty figure, will be out in August. The Back to the Future 2 Marty McFly and the Biff Tannen figure, along with the DeLorean, those will be out in September. And again, all of those are available for pre-order now. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about. Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, guys, stay safe, and I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to alert it every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.